And you're welcome. Let me take you through the details of those stories now. No parent ever wishes to bury any of their children, but gradually road traffic accidents are making this happen to many of them here in Ghana. For the parent of Mark Ofoswampedu, that wasn't the case. I will be back were the last words they heard from their son before he died in 2020. Take a look.
29-year-old Mark Ofoswampedu Jr. was among the thousands who were killed in road accidents last year. In January 2020, he was crushed to death on his way from Oyarifa to Accra. It is a very painful loss to the family. His parents cannot wipe their tears over it. His mother, Cecilia Ofoswampedu, cannot understand how she could lose her last born under such circumstances.
So I told him that Sunday is a Sunday, so my dress, everything is ready. So you leave your dress and everything, then when I come, I'll iron it. So he left. He left, then he came back and said, Mommy, I'll be back soon. I said, okay.
Little did she know that the I will be back soon promise was going to be the last statement from her beloved son.
He doesn't sleep outside. He has never. Even if he's late, at times he can come home, he go for a program, he come late, he will come home. Normally, I've been checking on him and he said the friends are calling him Mommy's son. So that day, from some time, I stopped checking on him. So immediately I said, no. If Dinia will not come and sleep, he will call or send a message. I checked my phone, there was nothing on it. Then immediately I started panicking. And the father said, oh, nothing will happen, so be calm.
As with most mothers, her maternal instinct of a sixth sense kept signaling her there was something wrong. So Mrs. Ofoswampedu couldn't be calm. Indeed, a call from Mark's boss early the next morning confirmed her worst fears.
Then he said, oh, somebody said he saw the car in an accident and they rushed him to hospital also. In fact, we started calling everybody that we knew. The friends started calling the friends here and there, trying to locate where we can find him. Then we were told that he was sent to Pantan.
They had to abandon the scheduled Thanksgiving service and rush to the Pantan hospital. They didn't know this hospital could not handle Mark's case, so was referred to the 37 military hospital. His father, Mr. Ofoswampedu, tells us more.
I don't know what happened at 37, whether he was here, but when we checked there and there was no records about him, then they advised them, why don't you check the police hospital? So we followed up to the police hospital. There was that place too, there was no record, but it's somebody who said, is it not that young man whom they brought and sent him straight to the morgue? So I decided to rush there, and lo and behold, when he was lying on a stretcher. Immediately I saw him. In fact, I thought he was not dead because he was just lying there. I could see my son. I didn't see any blood or scratches around him. So I just held him.
You did?
Mentioned his name. There was no response.
And that gripping story is part of the build-up to our latest Hotline documentary, Crushed. It's airing on April the 12th. Stay safe on the road. Let's go now to the Ashanti region, which is the Ashanti region capital of Kumasi, where some residents are not taking kindly to the announcement of likely outages or more frequent outages at 7 p.m. each day. The Electricity Company of Ghana and power transmitter Gridco on Thursday met with civil society organizations here in Accra and explained the causes of the outages and the solutions following weeks of intermittent outages in various parts of the country.
The 161 is loaded, congested, and they are trying to build another 330. So during the peak period, the load increases, and then we don't want the system to collapse, so they will take us off so that it will bring down the load. So we've alerted the customers to be on a guide. That's 7 to, yes, we don't know, today, you can come today, it might not come tomorrow. It depends the load balancing. That's why we are not here to give any timetable that tomorrow we're going to go off or yes, the next day we're going to go off.
That's about what happened yesterday. Let's now listen to some residents of Kumasi. Well, they are upset and frustrated about this news.
Country 64 years. It does not suffer doom so. 64 years, that's what I suffer doom so. I'm on 42 crew unemployment from men, our mobile black woman. Yeah, 64 years, that's what Jinaka suffer doom so. In the same is a gun and penny for Tiamo Valley. In Tiamo Jicobon Cunifa. Many woman gun and penny for pa say, what a timetable, but say, doom so. In Tomo Valley. In Tomo to Quine, can be a country agree. Yeah, near Nimsanka go for the door, penny idiot, Cobagunia home. Whoa, Mahamad has no doom area. Area there's no be where now open the move do light na anajo. Na anajo no say obi beto share so sa anajo na. Ye be dey na ehu. What you say? Nka panimu de wo ya de nka wo to bo ase, no ato bo ase no ayi ni yi. Na panimu akora be dum light awia me ya twe ho manso sa ama. Ya me ya adom ye de wa ba. Wo so kura de wo ba ya wo be dum na anajo. Nti anajo no akorofo nro bo ye. Me de me kania na dundum na bie ne wono a me pene so. Because kania no ye dum no ye so ye tua ho ka. Adia yetua won ka yesa na afi nipa wo se ubo sese ya so kanea enu sese meti wono no me se me wo store dan mu na se store agi ni sika wonnwene me ho se yedum kanea na wo favor me ne dia na se wote ne dan mu wo agi usika me sa na mimi hu no nti na dum light na ebe ha me pan because light no kra wo ye hu so dada na light nse ni ho.
First our business because so many people are using electricity for their work. So if there is any problem, they have to solve it before, they have to tackle it before all these things should come. But right now, it has come to, it has impromptu what issued. So the country economy will face problem, and individual business will also will collapse.
Almost 90% of our jobs in Ghana uses light. So the timetable Gridco or whoever has brought, is not going to help we the citizens. So the government should come again and tell us something better, because we can't take this.
Some residents in Kumasi with their thoughts there. Now let's move from there. Residents living near the OT landfill site in the Ashanti region are worried about the indiscriminate dumping of untreated fecal matter into the Oda River. According to the inhabitants, they are living in a hazardous environment and are at risk of contracting sanitation-related diseases.
4 communities, Oti, Aprabon, Atonsukuwait, and Dompoase are the most affected by the indiscriminate discharges. The discharge does not go directly into the water, but it does go through a seepage from the landfill site to the Oda River. The fecal discharge in this region emits an unbearable stench. Emmanuel Kofi Mensah is chairman of the Landlords Association at the area.
They pour the fecal discharge in the gutter and it goes straight to the Oda. Sometimes they pour it on the road and the stench is unbearable.
According to a 2015 study conducted by students of KNUST's chemistry department, the Oda River is unsafe to drink. In the midst of the fecal sludge, residents have connected a PVC pipe to collect surface water through the outlets. Some residents have complained about their health safety.
The water is not clean because of the fecal discharge they pour in the Oda. The Oda is contaminated because of where the toilet pipe was connected. But for the flood, you would have seen it.
The assembly member for the Atonsukuwait Aprabon electoral area, Elliot Ofusubano, says he was diagnosed with an ulcer-causing bacterium.
The disease is associated with fecal or probably toilet
is affecting the residents. I personally have been diagnosed with a disease called H. pylori bacteria infection. There's a community clinic here in the community called Lady Julia. Residents have been frequenting there with bacterial infections as a result of the landfill site.
The Lady Julia Clinic located in the area confirmed diagnosing people with such diseases. Clinician assistant Dr. Kweku Usu-Afram says the high pylori bacteria thrives in contaminated environment.
H. pylori is fecal-oral. When we say fecal-oral, is when you come into contact with any fecal matter that is contaminated. When you take it, you will get it. Because food might overwhelm us. Majority of the people are having the H. pylori infection.
Last year, residents here staged a demonstration over the poor disposal of waste. They blamed the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly for the poor management of the liquid waste. Spokesperson for the KME, Ifiakunedu Abuaje, responded to the concerns.
This is the first time we are hearing that the liquid waste enters the Oda River. No, we haven't heard that, but if you are bringing it to our attention, we'll also notify the waste management to take a look at it.
But until city authorities address this waste disposal challenge, an environmental epidemic looms in the area.
Now, residents in the Nkwanta South municipality of the Oti region are calling on authorities to fix a metal bridge that has become what they describe as a death trap. The metal bridge, just about 2 years old, which links Nkwanta to adjoining communities, has the bolts and nuts in one of its arms completely damaged due to the heavy-duty vehicles that used the bridge during the construction of the Nkwanta-Chilinga Road. The roads minister, during his visit last year, September, ordered that it should be fixed immediately, but nothing has been done since then. The state of the bridge is becoming a threat to the lives and property of people in the area. Here is a report by correspondent Peter Seno.
Bent steel, caved-in plates, broken bolts and nuts, leaving an arm of the bridge hanging are the initial physical evidence of a faulty bridge to the ordinary eye. This is dangerous to any first-time user. The bridge is broken and disjointed. On the 4th of September 2020, when the roads minister Amokwata visited the steel bridge and realized its danger to lives and properties, his order was for it to be fixed immediately. Nothing has, however, been done so far. We are told the steel bridge is just about 2 years old.
Last year, Minister Amokwata was there to inspect it. And he was very furious about the contractor who did that work. The bridge is not up to 2 years old. So he doesn't understand why the bridge should be in that situation. But since he left, nothing.
We are also told that heavy-duty vehicles that were used to construct the Nkwanta-Chilinga Road caused this. This, we are informed, is also responsible for the stalled road construction works from Nkwanta to Shari.
The bridge that separates Shari from Nkwanta is now a very serious death trap, which, of course, it is another thing that is affecting the contractor. Bringing sand and all those things, he has to go and pass through Abruanko, which is about 1 hour journey. Meanwhile, it's just about 3 minutes to cross the bridge to Shari here.
Commuters are not happy with the state of affairs.
The
bridge is in a bad state. You have to drop off loads and carry them by the head to the other side. We are appealing to government to fix it for us.
na yɛwɔ hwɛ bridge no so mai nti yɛsra no pa na dawro ma bridge ni de high pa men na da wa hwɛ de bridge ya ama ya juma ya wa akra no yɛntimi hu so ajuma no.
The state of the bridge is worrying. It is affecting our business because you are afraid to use it. We appeal it be fixed for us.
Ehu wo so papa nti yɛsra mo no mo meboa no mo yɛ bridge no mai yesu yatima ya ajuma yɛsra mo.
Those who were ordered to have acted immediately must, before any disaster strikes. Peter Sanu for Joy News.
And if you're just tuning in, some of the top stories that we brought you so far will bring you excerpt of our latest hotline documentary coming up on the 12th of April about how a parent has had to bury the 29-year-old child, Mark Ofosu. We also told you about anger, disappointment, and extreme worry about the future. That has been the reaction from residents in Ashanti region hearing about the announcement of likely outages at 7 p.m. each day next month. Also, the story just gone by, Prince Philip has died. We'll take a very short break. We'll be back with business. Do stay. You're welcome back. Let's zoom into business now. And producers of poultry have bemoaned the increasing cost of raw materials in preparing animal feed. Wheat, soya and maize are the most important commodities for the farmers, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has on platforms reiterated a bumper stock of maize. However, farmers do not think the same. Live FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong interacted with some poultry farmers in the Ashanti region. Here is her report.
Frank Owusu-Brobe is CEO of Akoko Master. The company imports day-old chicks from the Netherlands. He says the prices of soya, maize and wheat have been increasing for the past 7 months.
For raw material has been for the past, 7 months has really been challenging. Now, because of the impact of the COVID, we realize that soya, we tend to have a lot of the foreign soya that are coming in. And because of the impact of the COVID, those countries that have been producing and growing the soya, they didn't grow that much. So it has even affected even the cost. Previously, last year, we were buying a soya, a bag at around 137 Ghana cedis. Now, it is around 230 Ghana cedis. So you can just imagine how the impact of the COVID has also had on the farm. For instance, maize too, last year, the past 7 months, it was around a bag 50 kg was around 60 to 70 Ghana cedis. So now it's almost between 100 Ghana cedis to 120 Ghana cedis. So we believe that it has really affected the cost of production, and it's making things difficult for the farmers.
To some farmers, the government's flagship program, the Planting for Food and Jobs, momentarily led to a cost reduction in maize. But the prices have shot up again. Edith Whitland is CEO of Rockland Farms in the Ashanti region.
At the moment, one of our biggest challenges, getting a wheat brand to make feed, is a challenge. Most of the flour mills, they are exporting the wheat. It's a challenge. With maize, we had issues before. But with the introduction of the government Planting for Food and Jobs, most of our burden on maize were taken away. Because before the Planting for Food and Jobs, we used to pay for about 95 to 100 cedis for 50 kilo bags of maize. But with the introduction of Planting for Food and Jobs by the government, maize we are buying at 50, 60 cedis. It's only last year that because of the pandemic, the price has shot up again. But if not the pandemic, the industry would have been okay. But now, because of that, our neighboring countries, they were not able to produce for themselves. So most of them, Nigeria, Mali, Burkina, they came in to buy most of the maize that we had here.
To Frank Owusu-Brobe, access to quality feeds for birds is another challenge. Farmers have switched to the preparation of their own feeds. To him, this is unhealthy.
The challenge that is really hitting the industry has to do with getting quality feed. Most of the farmers now, they prepare their own feed. Ideally, it shouldn't happen that way. We should be getting even the feed from the feed companies, but we have a couple of experiences from other feed mill companies where you buy their feed and you don't get the good results. You use it and it's not helping you. And the farmers too are also at advantage. With the farmers, we are also at the disadvantage side, where you buy your raw materials. You don't have the capacity even to test. For instance, you pick maize. How do you even test even the aflatoxin level?
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
And that'll be all for business. Now, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has pledged to put his best foot forward to make the lives of people better. He said he is prepared to work with all sides of the political divide, irrespective of where one comes from, ethnicity or religion. He reiterated that his election as a Speaker of Parliament at this time of the history of the country gives him an indication that this is a country that God chose to put him there at this point. Mr. Bagbin made the statement at a Thanksgiving service in his home village of Sombo in the Nadoli Kaleo district in the Upper West region. Rafiq Salam reports.
The backdrop was without any scintilla of controversy and unorthodox, just like the man. It was a fitting symbol to a man who spent 28 years in Parliament as legislature and crowned it as a speaker at a time that the nation is sharply divided. Evidence in the hung Parliament, the onus lies on him to stay focused, drive the country in unison and to safety.
I am chosen as a speaker who is neither a member of Parliament of the majority group, because they have 137 plus 1, and that is why I refer to it as majority group. And I'm also not a member of the ruling government.
He's already aware of the albatross hanging on his neck.
To look at all Ghanaians, not some, not party, not tribe, not region, but our motherland, Ghana. I am persuaded that God has a design, not just for me, but for the people of this country. The events of the recent election and its outcome give me that indication.
And as coronavirus rages, he invited over 2,000 people from the length and breadth of the country, including politicians from all sides of the divide and traditional rulers, to participate in the Thanksgiving service. Mind you, this was an occasion bigger than the grievances and tensions that couldn't quite be disguised. Oseche Mensobonsu summed up the struggles Somalale, as pronounced by his father at birth, goes through before making it to the zenith of Parliament.
The route between Sombo and Accra is long and bumpy. Right Honorable Bagbin has surmounted the challenges and risen to where he is now because of the education that he was able to provide himself. He pulled himself up, as we've been told, by his own bootstraps in those very heady and difficult times. But today, we have FQ, free compulsory universal basic education. At his time growing up, there was nothing like that. And yet, he was able to scale the hurdles.
Minority leader Harun Idrisu has kind words for the speaker, recollecting how it all started.
I said to the group that my candidate for speaker was amongst us, and pointed to Honorable Alban Bagbin and the Honorable Asedu Nketia. Before my mouth could land, the Honorable Asedu Nketia held the hand of Honorable Bagbin strongly and said, "This it should be Honorable Bagbin."
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali urged the speaker to use his influence to bring development to the region. The Catholic Bishop of the World Diocese, Most Reverend Kunyeba Wop, who was a celebrant of the Thanksgiving service, has this message for the speaker.
You do not rob Peter to pay Paul. The
the integrity of your service to the nation will be important. All voices need to be heard. All parts of the country need attention. The rural areas in particular still lack many facilities.
For now, they might talk about number in the country is number 3, and the people are waiting with bated breath and in hunger for its accompanying benefits. Reporting for the news, Rafiq Salam, Sombo.
And we're still staying up north. The overlord of Mamprugu and president of the Northeast Regional House of Chiefs, Nabohaga Abdullahi Mahami Sheriga II, has directed his chiefs to take control and ensure total stability in their traditional jurisdictions. His comments come amidst renewed chieftaincy tensions in some parts of the region, including the Triponi district, where deadly violence between Kakumba and Triponi clans had resulted, and Chakosi clans has resulted in the imprisonment of 2 rival chiefs. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko reports.
The meeting held at the Regional Coordinating Council in the capital, Nalirgu, was the first since the formation of the House in September last year. Senior-most elder at the Nairi Mbatarana addressed the House on behalf of the Overlord and President.
Distinguished Nadema, on peace, the Nairi is saddened to have heard that there was an enskinment done in the Cherponi district, which resulted in the deaths of 2 people and subsequent incarceration of the 2 people who were made chiefs. I would like to appeal to you to ensure that there is peace in all our communities. As traditional leaders, we should ensure that there is peace in all our communities so that people will go about their duties peacefully and carry out their economic activities without fear. So I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the government for the numerous projects that are being carried out in the Northeast region. We'll have to ensure that there's peace to enable them finish the projects that they have started and to initiate new ones. Without peace, we'll be scaring away investors in the Northeast region. We cannot afford to make Northeast region a battle zone for settling our disputes.
The Overlord also reminded the House of the COVID-19 disease, appealing to members to help in the fight against the pandemic by ensuring strict observance of the safety protocols.
We would like to encourage you to ensure that your people go help in the fight of the pandemic by observing the protocols that have been prescribed for us. We want every soul in Northeast to be saved, but currently it looks like the disease has gotten a grip on our region.
On his part, Regional Minister Yidana Zakari drew the attention of the House to an ongoing regional boundary dispute involving the West Mamprusi and Mamprugu Mwaduri district on one hand and Mankargu, Talinsi and Fumbisi in the Savannah and Upper East regions on the other.
The RCC is also equally not unaware of the financial challenges facing the nascent House of Chiefs, and of course the recent chieftaincy and land disputes spanning from Tripoli, UU to the Janga area. The issue of regional boundary disputes involving West Mamprusi and the Talinsi area, Bubargu to be precise, Yagba Mankargu on one hand and the Yagba Fumbisi on the other hand. The House has been created at a time that all these issues are simmering, and the need for the House to do the needful by addressing these challenges is paramount.
The minister also suggested to the House some measures to minimize the incidence of land and chieftaincy disputes in the region.
The RCC has a limit to which it can interfere into traditional matters and will only do so when it touches on the security of the region. To minimize the incidence of chieftaincy and land disputes, I strongly suggest that the House makes it priority to codify the enskinment structure at all levels of the traditional system, and as well have a clear-cut land tenure system.
The House also sworn in 2 of 8 members who were absent on the inaugural day. The 2 are the paramount chiefs of Wulugu, Professor Suleiman Anabila, a former National House of Chiefs president, and the paramount chief of Chereponi, Femi Naemi Kofi Maliba, a retired soldier. Ilyasu Tanko reporting.
And that's it. Now, Muftao is standing by with sports.
Time now for sports. Good afternoon. I am Muftao Nabila Abdullahi. Referees manager of the Ghana Football Association, Alex Kote, has revealed that young referees unearthed from the association's Cut Them Young refereeing policy will officiate matches in the yet-to-be-launched Juvenile League. Mr. Kote believes there are many young children who desire to venture into refereeing, and his output would harness their potential. And now let's move on. Now we'll bring you in the story of the referees manager saying that they will use the Juvenile League to harness the talents of young referees. But now on Kumasi Asante Kotoko's head coach, he's Mariano Barreto. According to him, the players has been told that their quality and the position of the club on the league table of the Ghana Premier League does not befit the status of the club. Asante Kotoko completed the first round of the Premier League season, scoring just 13 goals and attaining just 27 points. Head coach of the team, Mariano Barreto, says with the quality of players available to the setup, it does not befit the status of the club to finish the first round of the Premier League season on just 13 goals.
I think they are accepting very well because even they feel that the position on the table that I find when I arrive was not deserves when we're comparing his individual skills and his individual capacity or how they can perform. They have, I think they are realizing that they are not doing everything they can do. Because it's not only wearing the jersey and we say, ah, we are Kotoko, so it will be easy. It's finished. Long time this not happens. You wear the jersey of Kotoko because someone chooses you, because you are one of the best in your position in this country. So this is why you are here.
Mariano Barreto added that players signed on by Asante Kotoko are the best in their positions in the country, and they must appreciate that their quality is not enough.
You have to work to prove that Ushuzu was right. So I think they are getting the message, and we are talking a lot about this, especially that if you don't fight, if you don't show warrior instinct and killer instinct, it will be difficult because other clubs, for them, the biggest target is beat the champions. This happens not only in Ghana, any country, everybody wants to beat the champions. It's an extra challenge. So we have to know that, the players have to feel it and cannot forget. Because if he forget, if he thinks coming like Kotoko, it's enough to win, the first round prove that this is not the way.
Asante Kotoko will play Brecum Chelsea on match day 19 of the Premier League. That's our time will permit us here for sport. Up next is Showbiz.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy Nise. Now, gospel musician MOG Music says it's very difficult to understand the rudiments of the music industry as a beginner, but he's encouraging young people to be hopeful. He spoke to Mama Vioso Abwaji on the AM show.
A music industry which is great and awesome, but it's very difficult for you to understand the industry space as a young man, so that you can lay your path in terms of your growth. Even sometimes to get industry folks to help you becomes a tough thing, because you don't have the financial means to support yourself individually. Music is an investment, and if you don't have the money to do it, if you don't have the support to do it, your songs are literally like a dream. It doesn't become a reality. So some of the tough things I had to go through is growing to understand the industry space, how it operates, the marketing space, how it operates, creating modules for my music, the production.
Well, that'll be it for this hour. Let's hop on to myjoyonline.com. I'll take you through the top stories there. I rejected offer to vie for speaker position. Harun Idrisu is saying that. This is our top story. And of course, Prince Philip has died aged 99. Buckingham Palace announces. That story is there. And I never demanded return of Ibrahim Bauxite concession to jail with Ekufuado. That's according to a story has been attributed to John Mahama. And 2 more suspects arrested in connection with Kaswa Boys murder, making it 4 in all. 7 out of 12 suspects who fled police custody recaptured. Those are some of the stories that you find on myjoyonline.com. Take your time, take a read, and share the links with your contacts. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. I am back here at 3 p.m. with The Pulse. Do make a date with me then. Bye-bye for now.